nature videos of people of these kind of like camouflaged creatures that really flow, which we'll get to, and destroying something that like prey essentially and just consuming it.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, it does lead to, you could say the second time you watch it, it'd be a very obvious image, but he sinks you so hard into the classic imagery of the 50s saucer for so long that at least for a while you're not really thinking.
I was
about
still surprised by the twist.
Yeah,
if we want to call it a twist.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also love with that cinematographer how he basically like sacrifices himself for what he thinks is his art. Almost, he's like, oh, it's the magic hour, and he just has
the
to
golden
get
hour. I need to get the best shot,
the perfect shot, even if it means I'm going to be consumed and then spit out as blood. Like it's crazy, and they start to make like subtle hints as well when they consume like a mass amount of people, and they have that shot where it's actually showing the inside of the saucer and them being like sucked
that
up
to
like
me
a
was
vacuum.
The scariest shot actually.
Yeah,
like that was the thing where I was reminded of when all the people are being held in the cages in War of the Worlds.
Definitely.
And like they're getting ready to be churned out.
Yes. Yep.
And yeah, there is a part where you actually see the internal UFO of what happens when the UFO like sucks people up. Because at the beginning, it's mostly just sucking up animals and like horses, and it's just a cool evocative image that you know of just seeing like a B sci-fi movie flying saucer like suck up like a horse from like a Western movie ranch, almost like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood style thing.
Yeah. I also love the how they do.
That's just a cool image.
The physics of it too. It's not like it's not a beam that like directly sends you with no problems up to it. It's more like a vacuum. So if you do get out of its kind of like wingspan or whatever, you'll just kind of be thrown to the side rather than just be consumed. So it does add a more like real physicality to what is eventually a creature. And I really like that aspect too. And it's all very subtle until the big like angel biblical form reveal. So I just loved looking back. It was one of those films I definitely, I needed to marinate a little bit just because for so long he leans into the...
I love the way you said that, by the way.
Yes.
Marinate.
He leans into the 50s thing for so long.
Shout out to the Discord on that one.
Absolutely. Until he has enough where you're like, this can't just be like a group of aliens that are eventually going to land and, have negotiations or anything.
Although,
like that.
Did you love I loved the alien fake out in this.
Oh, I
thought that was fucking awesome.
You said Signs, and that's what reminded me biggest of it. Like, because we got a really good reaction in the theater as well with that. Because the first one comes up.
I was freaking out.
I was too.
I was like, what the fuck?
Like, is this what we're doing? Like, what are we doing here? The first one comes out, and you're kind of thinking like, okay, that's very creepy. But maybe he's kind of faking us out a little bit. And then that second one,
my first thought was someone playing a prank. Yes. And then when the second one showed up, I was like, oh shit, he's doing this.
Yeah, like this is happening. It's like they're physically
It's really smart.
Here. It's very smart. And when that second lean happened and they both lean at the same time, dude, the whole theater was like, like gasping. They were fucking terrified.
And dude, that slow head behind the wooden post as he's like filming it on his cell phone.
It reminds you
that
of,
was Signs. That was that part in Signs where they're filming it and he sees like the little movement.
Yeah, it reminds you like I said, I used to watch like all these like alien videos just for fun and all of that. And most of the time when they're doing these fake out images or videos, it is kind of that. It's like a little alien head peeking out of a corner or a window or something like that, and then it kind of freaks you out, and then it disappears. And I just like that he's really playing into that imagery that we're so aware of for so many years of UFOs and aliens and all of that. It's such a smart way to do it. And
yeah, the way that he's engaging with all of the different cultural things that he's like raising points about in this is insane. Yeah, like all the movie history stuff, all the UFO stuff, and how they actually like collide together. Where like the UFO stuff is in a way a desire to see something amazing, right?
Yes.
To like, there's something out there, we should capture it.
Than us.
What is it? There's a magical like there's something overwhelming about that, and I love that he uses that as his gateway for people who maybe aren't obsessed with movies to, be able to engage with this story, because that's clearly how he feels about when he gets into, all of these characters are like, they desire to be in the movie industry in a way, which is like, again, you have this reference to like the original Black Cowboy, which is also how the movie ends its final shot, which I think is incredible. You also get this really cathartic stuff of like Daniel Kaluuya in like a dripped out Scorpion King bright orange crew hoodie riding on a horse like he's like Clint Eastwood or something, which is an incredible image. And then you also get, as Jamie mentioned, the cinematographer who really believes in the art of the image, and literally, in order to get the golden hour great shot angle, he gets swallowed up by the UFO. And also the eventual photo they take, by the way, because they do this whole thing where they lure the UFO out like because they discover that it operates more like an animal at a certain point. And immediately Kaluuya, who's the horse wrangler, goes, I know how to fuck with that. Like I know how to bait it. I know how to bring it out, and let's get a photo of it and let's make history. And so they do this whole incredibly thrilling and sort of like process oriented sequence where like they're setting up digital cameras, they're setting up the analog cameras in case the UFO like blacks them out, and they set up all the inflatable tube men going everywhere all across the western desert vista, which I just also thought was a crazy like unique image, like 65 millimeter film
of the alien eventually too.
Yeah, and so the like 65 millimeter film of what looks like a John Ford Vista, but with like a flying saucer and tube men. Like this is just Jordan Peele. Like his mind, I can't imagine the meetings he was in to try to pitch this kind of.